Hello everyone, welcome to the online session of Basic Electronics. I am Ami Patel from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In this particular video, I am going to discuss few more semiconductor diode. So today I will discuss mainly the tunnel diode and the varistors. So let us start with the tunnel diode. A tunnel diode is a heavily doped PN junction diode, and it is also known as the Esaki diode because first it was introduced by the Leo Esaki. Its operation is based on the negative resistance. Negative resistance means the electric current decreases as the voltage is increases. So we will see the construction and function of this tunnel diode. This is a symbolic representation of the tunnel diode, and this is the anode terminal and this one is the cathode terminal. So this symbol is used to represent a tunnel diode in the electronic circuitry. This is a construction of tunnel diode. The basic construction of advanced design tunnel diode is shown in this particular figure. The material used here in this tunnel diode is germanium or gallium arsenide. You can see this is the etched germanium material, and this is the tin ball, this one, and it is forming the PN junction, and this is the cover pedestal which is alloy, and this is a ceramic coating, and this region, this is the packaging of this tunnel diode, and this tin ball and this etched germanium chip is forming the junction, and this is the final seal, that is the over packaging, and the insulator mesh support is shown by this, and this SN, that is tin plated Ni mesh, is given over here. So this is the advanced design tunnel diode construction. Now we will see the function of tunnel diode. As tunnel diode is having the high doping concentration, then the concentration of impurity in the tunnel diode is 1 part in the 10⁻⁵. The depletion region thickness is 0.01 micrometer, which is quite thin as compared to the conventional PN junction diode. Whereas in the conventional PN junction diode, the impurity concentration is 1 part in 10⁸. So the depletion region thickness is more, that is 5 micrometer. Now tunnel diode works based on the tunneling effect. What is tunneling effect that we are going to see? Tunneling is known as the direct flow of electrons across the small depletion region from N side conduction band to the P side in the valence band. So this is the energy band diagram, and this is the energy band diagram for this conventional PN junction diode, and this is the energy band diagram of this tunnel diode. So energy band diagram shows two parts. One is the conduction band and the valence band. So this is the N side. N side is having electrons that is free and that is in the conduction band, and the P side is having the holes and that is present in the valence band. So this area is the depletion region, and when there is no biasing applied, the Fermi level of this P and N type material will try to line up when junction is created. So for the N type material, the Fermi level is nearer to the conduction band, and for the P type material, the Fermi level is nearer to the valence band. That is why this Fermi level will try to line up, and this is how the junction is formed. E.g., that is the conduction band energy level, valence band energy level, is the energy level of the different carriers present in N type and P type material. So what happens in the normal PN junction diode? The electrons which are present in the N side, which is in the conduction band, when it wants to cross this junction, it has to get energy to climb up this potential barrier at the junction, and then only it will be able to go to the p side. That means this electrons must have the energy level which is larger than the potential barrier, and then only it will reaches to the p side. Now this is the energy band diagram for the tunnel diode. So what difference you find over here? In the tunnel diode, the large impurity level is there. So the concentration of electrons in the n-type material is very large. That is why Fermi level of this n-type material is in the conduction band, and here also in p-type material the large number of holes are present. That is why the Fermi level of p-type material is in the valence band. So when this junction, p-n junction is formed, at that time this Fermi level will try to line up with each other. This electrons, instead of climbing up this potential barrier at the junction, will cross this junction through this depletion region, and electrons are passing through this tunnel in the depletion region, and that is why it is called the tunneling effect. So this is what happens because the electrons in the n-type material is at the same energy level which is having holes in the p-type material, because energy level of these two are same, and that is why these electrons directly move from this depletion region through the tunneling, and this effect is called the tunneling effect. So in the tunnel diode, instead of climbing up, this electrons will reaches through this depletion region through the tunneling effect, and that is why it is called the tunnel diode. Now this tunnel diode operation is shown, and in this we will see the carrier movement and how, as we apply the applied voltage, and how the current will flow. First we are looking for the unbiased tunnel diode. In the tunnel diode, the conduction band of the n-type material overlap with the valence band of the p-type material because of the heavy doping, and you can see this is a conduction band of n-type material and this is the valence band of p-type material. So electrons are in the conduction band of n-type and holes are in the valence band. So these two bands are overlapping because of the heavily doping in the tunnel diode, and because of this overlapping, the conduction band electrons at n side and the valence band holes at p side are at the same energy level. And as we have not applied any external voltage, there will not be any flow of carriers can be seen. So no tunnel current. Now we have applied a small voltage to this tunnel diode. Then what happens? Due to application of small voltage, which is of the order of forward bias, that is we are applying positive over here and we are applying negative over here, what happens? This potential barrier at the junction will get reduced, and due to that this conduction band will come up and valence band will go down. So potential difference or barrier between these two is reduced, and due to that you can see the Fermi level of conduction band will go up and valence band Fermi level will go down. A small number of electrons in the conduction band of n-type material will tunnel into the empty state of the valence band in the p-type material. So small number of electrons will start tunneling through this, and it will occupy the empty space in the p-type material, which creates a small forward bias current, and this is called the tunnel current. Thus the tunnel current starts flowing with the small application of voltage that you will see over here. Very small increase in the voltage, you find the current also increases, and this is the tunnel current. As you increase further the forward voltage, then what happens? Again this potential barrier will get reduced, and due to that more number of electrons will be tunneling from n side to the p side, and it will occupy the space, empty space in the p side. The large number of carriers at the n side will tunnel into the empty space of the valence band in the p side region. Because of this increase in the voltage, the overlapping of conduction band and valence band at the P side is increased, and due to that we will see further increase in the current. Now again, if we increase this applied voltage, then what happens? A slight misalignment of the conduction band and valence band takes place, and since the conduction band of the N-type material and the valence band of P-type material still overlap with some amount, some of the carriers are moving, the number of carriers which are tunneling from N side to P side will get decreased, and tunnel current also ultimately decreases. Thus the tunneling current starts decreasing. If the applied voltage is largely increased voltage, as we increase the voltage further, then what happens? At this point, the conduction band and valence band no longer overlap, and due to that the tunnel diode operates in the same manner as the normal PN junction diode. So as we have increased this voltage over here, after this particular voltage you find this tunnel diode is operating as normal PN junction diode, and there is no tunneling current flows. If this applied voltage is greater than the barrier potential of depletion region, the regular forward current will start flowing. So up to this there is a tunneling current, and this is the zero tunnel current, but the forward current started. Now this is a VI characteristic of tunnel diode. Here, as this is a forward voltage and this is the current, so initially as we have applied small amount of forward voltage, the tunneling current starts flowing, and it will increase, and it will increase up to some voltage, that is denoted with the Vp, that is called the peak voltage, and the current at this peak voltage is denoted with the Ip, that is the peak current, and this is a peak point. As we increase the forward voltage beyond this peak voltage, then there is a slight misalignment of the conduction band and valence band, and due to that the small carriers will tunnel from N side to P side, and due to that, with the increase in the forward voltage, the current, that is tunneling current, will start reducing, and this is called the negative resistance region. So with increase in the voltage, current decreases. So this region, at certain point you will find that the current reaches to the minimum value, and this point is called the valley voltage, valley point, or IV, that is the valley current. And after this voltage, valley voltage, if we increase this forward bias further, then what happens? Or there is no overlapping of conduction band of N side and valence band of P side, and now this tunnel diode will operate as normal PN junction diode. So this is the normal current. The tunneling current is up to this region only. IP and IV are the peak current and the valley current respectively. Now equivalent circuit for the negative resistance region. Here the Rn is the negative resistance and Rs is the ohmic contact resistance. Ls is due to the lead length and geometry of diode packages, and C is the junction diffusion capacitance. So this is the equivalent circuit. Now let us discuss the advantage of tunnel diode. It is low cost, low noise, high speed. It provides a high speed, low power consumption and environmental immunity. That is, the peak point is not sensitive function of the temperature. What are the applications of tunnel diode? It is used as a high speed switch in the pulse and digital circuit. In the high frequency oscillators also it is used. In the switching networks, in timing and computer logic circuit, design of the pulse generator and amplifier. Now we will see one more device, that is a varistor. Varistor is a special device used to provide the protection in the electrical and electronic circuit. The word varistor is formed by combining these two words, that is the variable resistor. It is also known as the voltage dependent resistor, whose resistance changes automatically with the corresponding change in the voltage across it. Unlike the fuse and circuit breaker, which provides the protection against the overcurrent, the varistor provides the overvoltage protection. Overvoltage protection is provided by the varistor, same as the Zener diode. In the normal power line, the voltage lightning, power line fault, and the transient causes serious problems like the dips and the spikes. That means the for very small amount of time, the very large change in the voltage. It will be higher voltage or less voltage. So this is referred as the dips if it is low voltage, and spikes, that means high voltage. So this is a symbol of the varistor. VI characteristic of varistor. This is the varistor voltage. So voltage applied at the terminal of the varistor when 1 milliampere current flows, this voltage is called the varistor voltage. The characteristic of varistor is bilateral and it is similar in both the forward region and the reverse region. Application of varistor as a protection circuit. You can see this is a line voltage. This is a phase and this is a neutral, and we are connecting this is a circuit which we need to protect, and varistor is connected across the circuit which we want to provide the protection. Now what happens? The surge voltage, that means the voltage across the line which is varying, or we can say this surge voltage is increased and this surge voltage is decreases. Even though this line voltage is having the variations, the voltage across the varistor remains constant. You can see over here. This surge voltage, that means the line voltage is increased, then to the varistor voltage is constant. So when surge voltage is below or equal to the varistor voltage, the varistor works as a capacitor. When surge voltage exceeds the varistor voltage, the impedance across the varistor terminal decreases and surge current will pass through the varistor and circuit is being protected. So if some higher voltage is present over here, then what happens? This will act as a lower impedance circuit and high current will flow through this and circuit is being protected. The peak pulse current, that is the maximum current at which the varistor voltage doesn't change. So this is the important design parameter for the varistor. With this, I am ending this session over here. Thank you.